and with all due respect to those people out there who love that kind of stuff. It's not something I could ever write. And so when someone sends me a horror script, I'm always one to figure out, okay, why are these characters playing victim here, and what's their need, and why are they putting themselves in this kind of situation?
Because they wanted to go camping. I mean, I would definitely not look for the intellectual aspects of.
Well, no. It's not necessarily intellectual, Michael. It's more emotional. The points made are not. I'm not talking about philosophy here. I'm talking about growth of consciousness or growth of awareness of some kind.
Well, okay, emotional. I mean, are you saying when you sit there and you're hoping that the killer kills these people because you just utterly dislike them, or are you looking for that? I want to build a rapport with these characters. Actually feel bad when they get hacked to pieces.
Well, for instance, this is the thing I've got against the Jason. See, for instance, go to The Dark Knight, which I didn't like as a movie primarily.
Oh,
however,
neither did I. Yeah.
What was really good, we can talk about that later, but what was really good about that was that Heath Ledger took that character and went way beyond a cartoon character, gave him a history, gave him a raison d'etre. And it wasn't just to, he had personal issues, let's say. And someone creating a monster just for the sake of having a monster, the monster's got to be a device to bring out character issues in our main characters. Otherwise, I don't want to sit there for 90 minutes watching someone running away from a monster. I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in watching blood splatter.
So you're saying you want to know more about the monster?
Well, if the monster is a human, for instance, I was in an acting class once in Hollywood, and something that the teacher said, what was his name? He's a pretty good commercial actor. Anyway, he said, I would not play, if I had to play Hitler, I would not play him as a villain.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would research the character and find out what he was like in his backyard with his German shepherds.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be the character that I would play. And I would find the basis of the character and why he's motivated to do what he does. And that's the point I'm making is, for instance, I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it was just stupid as far as I was concerned.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not. It is not. No.
It was based on the guy Ed, what's his name, from
Ed
Iowa.
Gein.
Yeah, who would kill passersby, people passing through, and skin them and make lamps and shit out of it. And and so
I'm going to tell Daphne about this.
What they did was they just made a cartoon out of it, and I just wasn't interested in the cartoon. That's all.
That was a freaky ass family. I don't know. That's an entertaining movie. I sit down. I'm like, ooh, yeah, when he picks the girl up and puts her on a meat hook and he bashes the other dude in the head with the hammer. That's good shit right there.
That's entertaining.
Yeah, that was worth my rental right there. It was good. I'm not gonna sit down and be like, oh yeah, Leatherface's, the should have won an Academy Award. No, bullshit. But I sat down and I enjoyed that movie. When that guy opened that door and he screamed like a little bitch and Leatherface came and got him, just, solid gold. That's all I'm going to say.
I have the gold anniversary edition on DVD. I mean, come on, people.
Well,
Franklin in a wheelchair getting his ass gutted. Come on.
To be honest, that's not one of my favorite movies either.
Well, I'm sure it's not for a lot of people. I'm just, I enjoy it, but I like that.
But I do agree they did make an effort in that movie to give us a lot of background on the monster.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do. I want to go back to, something that you were saying about The Dark Knight, with what Heath Ledger did and all this. I mean, how much of that would you attribute to him, and how much do you think is the script? I mean, obviously the way he says his lines and things like that would be, on him, but as far as backstory and what it is that he's saying, I mean, was there a lot that was there? Is it
I'm wondering if I really don't know how that script was developed. I don't even know who wrote it, actually. I don't remember.
There was a number of people. The director was one of the writers, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, the production stuff, the sound and all that stuff just drove me nuts. The
way that Batman talked.
Well, it's not just that, but the music just drowned out stuff, and then all of I don't know, the whole soundtrack just drove me nuts. It was so distracting.
My problem with that movie was that it was way too long, and that they should have cut it in half. And if they had cut it in half, they would have had a very good action sort of movie that it belongs being, and not this drawn out epic about all these characters that they don't even get to really fully explore. And so I think that if they concentrated on the story with the Joker and Batman, that would have been a good movie. But they just bringing Two-Face into it was just not appropriate, in my opinion.
Well, they spend a lot of time on production.
Yeah.
And, car with the big wheels. And, and it turns into a comic book that, when I was a kid, Batman was second only to Superman for me. I had every Superman, Superboy, Supergirl comic book, and then Batman was second, Aquaman. So I was really into the whole superhero stuff. And I don't know. I guess I don't know if I outgrew it or what. But the thing is, I thought Heath Ledger was in a different movie. He so grounded his character, and I didn't see any grounding of the other characters. They were just in a comic book.
Well, I think everything that you've seen, especially as far as the Joker is concerned, Jack Nicholson's version, Cesar Romero's version, all that stuff. I mean, they are
Jim
very.
Carrey.
Yeah.
Didn't Jim Carrey play it as well?
No, he was the Riddler.
He was the Riddler.
I have some questions, actually. Some people want to know, has this recession, is that affecting at all how many scripts are being bought, how many are being produced, and has that lowered people's chances to option their scripts? Have you noticed anything like that in change, and also what realistically, what is a person who's sitting at home in Iowa or anywhere, Australia, wherever, what are the chances to actually write a script that Hollywood will actually pick up? What are the chances? And what are the studios looking for? Are they really that picky about commas and grammar and things like that? I know you're picky about that, but what do the studios think?
You got about 10 questions there. So let me start off with...
There were 2.
There was a whole bunch of questions, a whole bunch of answers here.
Okay.
Want to talk about Batman again?
No, fuck that.
Number one, let me answer these questions, please. Number one, yes, the recession has hurt the market a lot. Money really tightened up. And even though there's a lot of money out there, people are hanging on to it. Number two, I would never, as a new writer, try to write for studios because they develop almost everything in-house. The only way you're going to get into a studio is if you get your script to a producer who's got a deal with the studio. And even then, they're totally backed up. But the better deal than trying to write for a studio or even get an agent is to